Everybody, what's going on? Fabian Calvo, Fabian for Liberty, fabianforliberty.com is my website. Remember, coming up in, I think, a few weeks, we got the Malibu Mastermind seminar that's going to be taking place right here in my home on the Pacific Ocean. Really excited about it. For more information, just check out fabiancalvo.me or email us, customer service at fabiancalvo.me. Okay, I did this video last week, or did a video about this subject matter last week. Let me just preface this with two things. One is that I hope I'm completely wrong about this. I have two small children, family, a lot of people I love. I don't want to see a war or World War III. I'm not cheerleading for that, but I am also somebody who is looking at the facts on the ground, and I believe that we are repeating significant mistakes of the 20th century, quite frankly, specifically World War I, with alliances, with treaties, with all kinds of things. And then secondly, I just would like to say that the last time I posted a video like this, or when I talk about the rise of China, or I talk about the global economic reset, there are a few idiots that come and post that say, well, I'm anti-American, that I'm pro-Russia and China. And for the record, and I know the regular viewers of this channel know, I think, what my intentions are based on my 3-4 year body of work. I love the Republic. I love the United States. This is my home. This is a country that's given me significant opportunity. It's a country that my dad came here when he was 9 from Cuba as an immigrant, and he was able to freaking retire in his late 40s building a business. That's not... although that is possible in some other countries, that is not the norm. In other countries, if you're not born into the political class or into a certain last name, you're pretty much screwed. You're in poverty for the rest of your life. Here at home, even today, as I talk about the golden age of business, it's still a possibility. You can still do it. Unfortunately, the powers that be have programmed the majority of Americans and the majority of people in the West to believe in the job paradigm and not to believe in their own God-given talents and unique abilities that we all have, that we could all use to create financial independence. So this isn't an anti-US video, and if you think it is, I'm sorry. Perhaps you're watching the wrong YouTube channel. The truth is that our republic has been hijacked decades ago by a criminal banking cabal that, quite frankly, hates our liberty, hates our freedom, and hates you and I. They want... and I hate to say this, but they do want a one world order. Now, why do I hate to say that? Because it sounds conspiratorial, especially if you're just tapping into alternative media or new media, right? It sounds, oh, this guy's freaking crazy. But again, I'll just present the facts, you decide, and please fact check me. Fact check me. Check this out on your own. Don't take my word for anything that I talk about, okay? Never, ever, ever. I don't want you to. I want people to come to their own conclusions, as did I. Now, last week I talked about how a former deputy director of the CIA came out and said, look, war with China is inevitable over the South China Sea. Now, interesting enough, the London Guardian, the Independent, the Daily Beast, all these publications are finally coming around saying, hey, there might be a war with China and the US over the South China Sea. Now, if you've been watching this channel for some time, remember that I told you over a year ago that the global economic reset ground zero would be the South China Sea and the borders of Russia. Later on today, if not tomorrow, I'm going to post a video regarding ISIS. ISIS, ladies and gentlemen, will be used by the West to go after the Russians. And it's clear with recent ISIS gains, with the fact that ISIS was started, financed, and funded by the West, that they continue to take over Syria and Iraq. And most recently, we had Western leaders saying, well, the reason ISIS has taken over Syria is because Bashar al-Assad is still in power and we need to remove him. I mean, it's almost like the nuts are running the insane asylum. It's that bizarre and crazy. So over a year ago, I told you that the South China Sea would be the ground zero for the global economic reset. I talked to you about these Spratly Islands that are 600 miles off the coast of China, and how the Chinese have basically, in less than a year and a half, have built a major installation, military installation, by dredging, and they basically go out and they dredge the ocean water, which is they take sand and dirt from the ocean water, use it to expand this huge military base, which now I believe is like 150 football fields large. And state Chinese media came out, and I'm going to quote or paraphrase, saying that unless the U.S. expects China to halt its activities in the South China Sea, war is inevitable in the South China Sea. You have the Japanese, during this point of hostilities, ramping up its military exercises to protect its own airspace. Remember, just in November of 2013, we had the Chinese set up a no-fly zone, if you will, which they haven't really enforced, but they set it up over the disputed islands they have with Japan. Now they're doing the same thing over these disputed islands with Taiwan, the Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia. Certainly the U.S. claims they will continue to fly surveillance missions over there. They'll continue to have their Navy ships go through there. And Beijing claims it's not backing down. And quote the state media again, the state is saying armed forces will be allowed to project power in the region. Now, do I think that China is ready to go into a huge war with the United States? No, I don't. I think they will lose, and they know that. They're not ready for that yet. Although, if you see the gains they've made militarily and economically over the last 3-4 years, I have no doubt in the next couple of years they potentially could be ready for that. However, the U.S. is not ready for a prolonged war with China either. They're stretched too thin. We don't have the money. And another war with China, if that indeed was waged, I believe would trigger Western powers now that, remember, 42 nations, including the UK, Germany, a bunch of other German nations that claim to be U.S. allies, have jumped, chomping at the bit to be part of the new Asian Infrastructure Bank that is almost like a new World Bank. So that structure for the global economic reset is being set up. Now, I don't believe it's going to go from the dollar to the renminbi or the Chinese yuan. I do believe, though, that instead of a full-blown hot war, it could go hot for a little bit, no question. The Chinese will use this to justify and push the global economic reset, likely away from the dollar as the sole world reserve currency into a more diversified world reserve currency that has a bigger play and part for the Chinese currency, therefore having the dollar's devaluation really be expedited and potentially see a devaluation in as much as 20-30% of the US dollar. See, I think the Chinese know right now they cannot win a war against the United States, and the United States, I believe, knows they can't win a war against China, but China does know they can really hit the U.S. hard economically, and they're one of the few, if not only, countries that can do that. Now, one other thing regarding, I've talked about the quadrupling of gold reserves for China, the fact that China is creating a new billionaire every single week, the fact that they've rolled out the BRICS, they've rolled out this new Asian Infrastructure Bank. Anybody with a room temperature IQ can realize that the process is underway. So the question is, when does China implement a new fly zone over the South China Sea? And when do they begin to enforce it militarily? That could be sooner than expected, ladies and gentlemen. I'd love to hear your feedback on this. Again, I'm Fabian Calvo. Love to meet you personally at my Malibu event. Remember, Saturday it's going to be all about resourceful real estate investing, virtual real estate investing. And Sunday, it's going to be all about the global economic reset. And I'll tell you what, like I've said, I've had to change that presentation almost on a daily basis now because things are speeding up so quickly. I'm going to have some great special guests that I'm going to Skype in as well. Going to be really cool. Hope to meet you out there. Tickets on sale, fabiancalvo.me, or just email us for more information. Customer service at fabiancalvo.me. If you've already been a customer, we are providing some special discounts for people, especially my Deals Club members. So again, love to meet you out there. Thanks for watching. I know.